How you doing? All right.
We turned on Woody. We couldn't turn him off. Oh, shoot. Shout out to Naughty by Nature. Naughtyville. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in Irvington. All the folk working to get Monty's together. That's the new soul food joint. They sent me a fax. They're getting the restaurant together and listening. I love that. Irvington, what's good? Mayor Smith, how you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the fabulous, the glamorous, the well-preserved Brenda K. Starr. The K is for... Hey, Brenda. It's good to have you here. Is that fine husband of yours up here, too?
No.
Did you see how she flung her hair?
Yes. Fabulous.
Everything is very...
He's with the kids, so they have sports.
4 kids you got.
Yeah, my son has football. My daughter has rehearsals for theater.
Yeah.
And then my other 2 kids, one has, cheerleading today. Another one does volunteer work at the senior citizen home.
Jeez, how old are these kids?
15, 12, 7, and 5.
Wow. You're so soft-spoken today.
No, my throat. I've been singing since 5. I did the morning show. I was up at 4. I was on Telemundo this morning, Univision this afternoon.
Okay.
I was at Sirius Radio last night.
Yeah.
And then just like running around doing all this stuff.
Promoting
and then
your
I fell
album.
asleep in the car.
Coming here.
Yeah. I was sitting downstairs in the car.
Now, Brenda, you're originally from what borough in New York?
Manhattan.
Your Hell's Kitchen?
No. West 90th Street.
West 90th.
Right.
And now you and your family, you live out in New Jersey?
Yeah, we live out in Jersey.
And you got a house and the lawn and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the years have been good to you.
I think so.
I mean,
in
because...
what way? What way do you mean?
Well, because many of us only know I Still Believe.
Right.
And past that, like if you don't speak the language or follow the music,
right,
then that's all you know is I Still Believe. You know, Brenda could be slinging burgers at a greasy spoon. You know, Mariah Left You for Dead is what? No, I'm just giving you the layperson's right room.
I actually had hits after that. I had What You See Is What You Get, which was a Billboard top chart.
Okay.
I did What You See Is What You Get. I did Picking Up the Pieces of My Broken Heart, which was a club hit.
Yes, I remember
did
that.
No Matter What with George Lamond, which was top 10 on Billboard.
That's right.
I also did an album for, at that time, there was a type of music which I'm sure you're aware of, freestyle.
Yes, because I worked it when Shot was Shot 103.
Hot 103 was it?
Yeah.
Shot.
Pie.
It was Shot.
And Brenda, everybody, I was the overnight jock, and Brenda was one of the biggest stars of that particular era with the freestyle music.
Yeah, we did Legends of Freestyle, and then I basically followed the music, and then I did a lot of TV and commercials. So, I just kept my chops alive. I mean, it was just about finding my niche and what I did musically. So I never really, I've had my share of working when I was, before getting like a big record, before having I Still Believe out. I mean, mind you, I've been working since I'm 8.
Yeah.
I did my first commercial.
Well, and you've garnered
did movies, and then I worked at Chirping Chickens. I did some flipping, but I didn't flip burgers. I flipped chicken. I was working at a restaurant.
Pollo.
So I was flipping pollo.
And Brenda, everybody's gotten attention from Grammy. Now, was that nomination or?
I was already saying in Spanish.
Yeah.
A nomination for Best Latin Single, which was I Still Believe in Spanish. But I mean, I didn't win. I was up against Gloria Estefan, and
you were
she
nominated.
Won, but I was nominated, and I got to travel. I took my mom, and it was a good experience for my mom because I grew up with a single mom, and there was 7 of us.
Yes.
So for her to be able to work 3 jobs, she was a cleaning lady. She worked at a school.
Look at you.
And she also, had her share of working at a hospital.
And now you have a cleaning lady, and you have one for her as well.
I have a cleaning lady twice a month. That's it. Because no one ever cleans your house the way you clean your house.
Exactly.
I don't care what anybody says.
I just let the dust pile. I just look at it and say, oh, well,
my kids hate that. They hate that. They're always like, why are you always cleaning? But I cannot deal with clutter. I can't deal with it dirty. I hate that. I just can't. I hate when the guys leave the seats up in the toilet.
Yeah.
Like I yell at my husband and my son. I'm like, can you just put it down? I feel like you're going to fall through
now,
it.
How many years have you been married? It's Brenda K. Starr, everybody.
It's going to be 10 years.
Look at that.
10 years. We met, and it's funny how we met because I was on the highway and I was coming from a recording session. It was a really, really low time in my career because I was doing tons of demos, trying to get an English deal. But for some reason, I couldn't get that English deal.
Okay.
But my husband was behind me, and I had dated someone for 4 years before him, and it just didn't work because I was traveling. You know how guys are, they drift.
Yes.
And they play you. So for me,
Cheat.
I was, exactly, a cheat. So I was driving, and I noticed this guy's, like, Mercedes. He had his top down. It was actually a BMW, but it wasn't really the car that caught me. It was his hair. He had dark hair and beautiful shades, like dark shades. I was like, what a good-looking guy. And I was looking from my rearview mirror, and he had kept staring at me, and I kept staring at him. So he moved alongside me, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he like motioned, "You're so beautiful." And I was like, "Thank you." And then he was like, "What's your phone number?" Showing me a hand signal for a phone.
Right.
And I was kind of like putting my fingers up, trying to get him to give it to him.
Go on.
So
Working
he was
it
like,
at the light.
Pull over. I was like, because you never know.
A killer.
Exactly. So, and it would not be a good example for my daughters. At the time, I was a single mom of two girls.
Right.
So I pulled alongside where there was a state trooper giving somebody a ticket.
Yes.
So he had asked me my name. We exchanged names. He asked me what I did. I says, well, I'm a songwriter. He didn't know who I was.
Well, is your name, your real name is, you gave him your real name.
My name is Brenda Kaplan.
Okay. Oh, okay.
My dad's Israeli and my mother's Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
So I turned around.
So you're half Jewish
and Puerto Rican.
And half, like Geraldo.
Exactly. And my mom's mom is got some Judaism in her because she's from Spain. It's just a long story. I'm like a melting pot.
Okay.
Blender baby. But then we had exchanged numbers, and I had his number for 5 months, but I wasn't totally healed of my situation. I really didn't want to get into another relationship because I was really not ready mentally.
Yeah.
So I decided to just stay on my own. I had his number for 6 months. Long story short, I called him and had my girlfriend follow me to the date because I was unsure of what kind of guy this is.
Good.
So I went to the bathroom after like an hour of hanging out with him. I told my girlfriend, I said, you could go, it's all right. And then we got engaged 6 months later, and then we got married.
Wow.
Not even a year, just about a year.
Wow.
And he's wonderful.
Did you invite Mariah Carey to the wedding?
She never came.
Oh.
Never came. I invited her.
And this was 10 years ago.
Yeah. She never showed up.
But at that time, wait, was she married to Tommy 10 years ago?
Yeah, she was married to him at the time.
So he was probably, at that time, I would have said, okay, well, it's Tommy holding her back from everything
I don't
old.
care what anybody says. I'm married and I'm my own person. I love my husband to pieces.
Yes.
But when you get married, it doesn't mean that someone has to take your identity and tell you which route to go, what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. You as an individual need to learn how to take control of your life.
That's right.
And if I have my friends,
that's right.
I'm like, listen, this is my girl. This has been my girl.
I was going to say that Mariah was more than friend. Mariah lived at your house at one point.
She actually lived with Clarissa and all the other girls.
Okay.
But she had sang background for me. And we spent a lot of time together. When we had the audition we were going on tour, and I needed 2 background singers. She came down to the audition, and she was actually there an hour early. And I like persistence, because persistence is prevalence for me. And I'm the type of person that I always said to myself, I don't care, hustle or bustle, whatever it takes to provide for my kids and give my kids a great life the way my mom hustled for me, I'll do the same for them.
Okay.
She showed up to the audition an hour early. I thought she was extremely pretty. I thought she just had something about her. Really quiet. I said, you're a little early, but you could come in. I was like, what's your name? We started talking. We right then and there hit it off.
Wow.
And she had sang some of I Still Believe In. It's funny because I was telling, no, well, I want it to be sung this way. And here I am. I mean, she's extremely talented, and I'm telling this girl how I wanted to sing something.
Right.
So she was like, okay. She was good at following directions. Right then and there, I knew she had the job.
Yes.
So I had hired her, and we had started hanging out. And then, I mean, it's just like we started going on tour. And at the time, I mean, the norm for like a background singer was $150. I was giving her a $150, but there were times when we were going out shopping. She was like, oh, I want that bathing suit, but I can't afford it.
Right.
I was like, buy it. I'll give you the money. I'll pay you extra.
Right.
No, don't worry about it. I was like, just get the bathing suit.
Right.
So it was more like there were other background singers, but she was the one that I always like became close. So she was like more like a buddy, sister type of friend. Because I traveled a lot, and my sister was really involved in college with physical therapy college. So she was out a lot. So Mariah and I just got this bond. And she, I met her brother Ben. Actually Morgan. Ben Morgilis is the guy who was her producer at one point. But just there was something about her that we just like hit it off. We were so much alike. We loved music. We eat, sleep, dream, and breathe it. So there was like a really good similarity.
Yes.
And then just one day she was just sitting at that backstage at one of my shows. I was like, what do you listen to? Oh, this song I wrote. I was like, let me hear.
Okay.
I was like, why are you singing background for me? Why are you not like with a major record company?
Okay.
And she exploded my ears by telling me that they said she sounds too much like Whitney.
Okay.
And that she's a white girl and how would she be able to get a deal? And I was like, well, you're basically going to the wrong people.
Did you ever say, well, why don't you... All right, so at that time, she addressed herself as a white girl?
She said, yeah. She says, I'm white and, it's
Oh,
people
Mimi.
are, how are they going to give me a chance trying to sound black, saying I'm trying to sound like Whitney?
Oh, Mimi.
And I was like, Mimi, I'm sorry, I can't curse on there. But that just really, irks me. Mimi, first of all, is not heard. I've never heard that name been said by Patricia, Morgan, Michael, any of them.
It was a made-up nickname?
I don't even know where the name came from. I'm not bashing her because, I'm a wonderful person.
Yeah.
And when I have a friend, I truly, truly give that friend my everything. And then I don't know where Mimi came from. I remember Raya because...
Raya, short for Mariah.
Raya. Short for Mariah. And I don't understand.
Were you invited to the wedding with Mariah and Tommy?
Yes, I was. I was
okay.
invited to the wedding.
And you went?
And
You had a
I was
beautiful
invited
time?
to the wedding because she was at Apollo Theater and she told me she was playing at Apollo.
Okay.
And I knew that the thing was going on before it was in the media.
Okay.
Because one day I'm coming out of Mariah's apartment. We were hanging out. And she just was like, at first, the real reason why I knew was because I kind of decided to leave I was going to leave early and then I decided to leave a little later.
At the Apollo?
No, at her house.
Okay.
This is how I knew that she was dating Tommy.
The house. Was this something that she was able to afford
No,
to get?
this isn't
clearly
Tommy got that for
Okay,
Tommy got that for
got it
because she
for-
was living in a studio apartment in Chelsea.
Yeah, okay.
And I remember that he got her a piano to write her songs. And I was like, you were going to be so huge. She was like, you think so? I was like, yeah. I was like, you got the right people behind you. But naively not thinking that. But Tommy did mention she was hot when we were at the party the night that I gave him the tape.
Yeah.
But
physically hot before you even listened to the tape?
He walked in and his eyes were already they were just bulging.
Wow.
And I was like, he's checking her out. So she went to the bathroom. He's like, who's the babe with the body?
Right.
And I was like, that's Mariah. I was like, yo, you think she has a beautiful body? I said, that girl can sing.
Okay.
And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, she's amazing and she needs a deal. This is her CD. This is her cassette.
Oh,
and I gave him the cassette and I said, please listen to it because, she does background for me, but she really needs to be out there. Hook her up.
Yes.
So I went to the bathroom. I was like, Mariah, I gave him your tape. She was like, oh my God, really? I was like, yeah. She had no idea really who he was.
Is she really as naive with the boys as she says?
I don't know about all that now. I mean, time changes. We all grow. I mean, we could be naive at the beginning.
But
at that time,
yeah.
Well, I mean, she wasn't very not that she wasn't an extroverted person. She just didn't share a lot of her sexual things with me because honestly it was none of my business.
So she could
I don't
very
share
well
with her who I sleep with. I didn't really know who she slept with.
So she very well could be.
She could have been, and maybe people may not have came out of the woodwork that dealt with her before. Who knows if she was quote unquote a virgin at the time. We don't all know that. That's Mariah's story.
Okay.
That's up to her to keep private.
Right.
Just like no one ever knows when I lost my virginity. That's my business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, when did you lose it?
Can't tell you.
Oh, sure. Okay.
But believe me, it was a reasonable age.
Okay.
But for me.
Oh, damn. We got the 10987.
Are we only doing this for 8 minutes?
It's Brent. No, you're coming back.
Oh, yeah.
It's Brenda K. Starr in the studio, everybody. Be here as we uncover. Keep it here.
Wendy, man.
Hello?
What's going on, Remy? What happened with you and Gloria Velez?
Talking mad reckless to me. FYI, I never got robbed in my life.
Okay.
Me letting Gloria Velez rob me.
The Wendy Williams Experience.
How you doing?
I do apologize. I was taking a telephone call regarding Starr Jones. from my friend Patricia Shipp, who writes fabulous articles for the National Enquirer. Patty Jackson in Philly, she'll probably be calling you next. But in the meantime, Brenda K. Starr's in the studio.
Oh.
There was a wardrobe malfunction regarding Mariah Carey in Germany, as a matter of fact. Her breast accidentally popped out. The fans were stunned. She was on a German TV show, and her dress kind of fell apart, and she had one of those wardrobe malfunctions, and she got all red-faced, and this is what she says. Someone bring me a jacket or the show's off. We all know how quickly these images can spread around the world. Those are breast implants. What'd you say?
That they, I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, we all know about plastic surgery.
Yeah, that's a go. Okay.
Yeah.
So next, so Brenda K. Starr's in the studio. Her new CD is called, how do you pronounce?
Atrévete a Olvidarme, which means I dare you to forget me.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
You and Mariah favor each other in a few ways. I mean, not really. It's not like you're twins, but I wish you were still friends.
I do too. But you know what's so funny?
Yeah.
For me, I think like a friend is someone you can get on the phone with. I don't care how busy you are, because I'm busy too. I got a career. Like I said, I have 4 kids. I live in a beautiful house. I don't need for anything.
Right.
You know, I mean, if I'm stuck, you're there for me. If you're stuck, I'm there for you, whether it's an ear or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I got tired of just getting called to do this for me and do this for me, and they're doing this for me, and I'm going around the world, Mariah Carey around the world, Mariah CNN, people in the news. Then I have my own radio show, and I call her to come do my radio show, and then she like tags me on to somebody else and somebody else and somebody else. Why can't you just say, listen, that's my girl, I'm doing this, pick a date? And then at one point, Marvette was a publicist and still is, said that we were going to do this whole interview. I'm calling her office. No one calls me back. Yeah. And then it kind of feels like I was like just treated as one of the groupies. Yeah. And for me, I was very uncomfortable with that, because when I met Marvette, I met her at at the TRL filming. She's Terrell's sister. What a really nice person she was, because I had an incident with Benny Medina. I think he's very nasty. I think he's full of himself, and I'm very uncomfortable with him. And I had told Mariah how he embarrassed me, because I went up to him to say hello, and I thought he would remember me, because in the arts, you know so many people, but you know you don't forget a face. Right. And I was the one who had talked to him about Mariah before she had gotten her deal. Long story short, in front of everybody in the room, he's like, "Who are you?" You know, and
first of all, anybody who knows the story of Mariah Carey and who doesn't knows Brenda K. Starr.
So, long story short, I walked out and I was very uncomfortable. And, you know, I was upset. So, of course, my eyes filled with water. And Marvette was the first one to say, you know, Brand, screw him. You know, he wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for you. Yeah. And then I told Mariah, well, long story telling Mariah was like, well, there was really nothing I can do. You know how people are. I'm sorry. You don't do that. But lo and behold, again, she needed me to do CNN, people in the news. Every time she calls me, freeze.
Okay, this is Mariah now after Glitter and coming back with this CD that she has out right now, Resurrection, Emancipation of Mimi. Mariah needed spin control to help you, the consumers, still believe in her. And one of the things, her tools was to call up her old friend
and talk about how great she is. And of course, me not thinking the good person I am, I'm not one to badmouth somebody.
Wait a minute. So, and she wanted you to specifically, look, I'm calling. I know we haven't talked in a while.
She didn't call me. She had her people call me.
Okay, we need you.
Would I mind to do that
and talk good about Mariah on.
Just talk about your great relationship with her. And at the beginning,
that you, John Q. Public, think that their relationship is still cool.
Well, you know what's so funny? When I did do the interview, I did talk about how, you know, I was happy for her, you know, not envious, because I'm not envious. Right. Because she's doing her thing and I'm doing my thing. Right. But I was very uncomfortable saying how great she is, how we speak. She doesn't call me anymore. I've left her messages. Oh, I didn't check my messages. You know what? You can take 5 minutes out of your schedule to ask me, hey, what's up? How you doing? Okay. You know, let's go to dinner when you're in town. You have all these big parties. You know, what is it? Is it that I'm not part of the big clique? Because there's a lot of people that I see around her.
You weren't invited to the big Emancipation of Mimi? Even I was invited to that.
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely not.
I'm never invited to nothing. I was Wow,
I wasn't
Bren.
invited to a wedding. And when she was at the Apollo Theater, I didn't get to finish. She showed me her ring, and she's like, I'm engaged. I was like, I knew it. She was like, I said to Tommy, right? She's like, yeah. But I'd seen her, Tommy, coming in and out of her building when I was leaving.
Okay.
With like cartons of Cristal. He
Right.
had bought her a car when they were dating.
What kind of car?
It was a Mustang. And I
right.
had said to her, I said, you don't even know how to drive.
Right.
And she was like, well, I'm going to learn. And I was like, girl, not for nothing. When you're that age and you got somebody that powerful, I was
Yes.
like, girl, if it's good, stick with it.
Yes.
And not learn to love the person, because you really have to love the person you marry.
Right.
So at the point, I thought she really loved Tommy. I mean, he adored her. I noticed, like, in his eyes when he looked at her,
Aw.
you know, that he really loved her. But I had a problem with that because, like, she thought I didn't know. But, you know, I'm from the ghetto. I'm sorry. I know who's doing who.
Right.
As soon as I saw when I was walking out the building, I was like, she's having it. So I knew it.
Yeah.
But when she was at the Apollo, I said, I know you invited me to your wedding, right?
Right.
And she was like, yeah, you're coming. So I was going to go to her wedding. I thought I was actually going to be in it.
A
but I was
bridesmaid.
pregnant. But I ended up being pregnant, so I didn't
okay.
come. But, you know, it's just like... It was just like so many fake people that are around her, and I'm sorry. That's how I feel. I feel like she'll never know what a real friendship is, because I'm not putting myself on this pedestal, but I think I was a wonderful friend.
Okay, we only have a minute left. We're on Park Avenue. What if Mariah is downstairs right now, no hangers on, by herself, with a bouquet, some tears in her eyes, and a big apology? Let's go across the street to Houston's and have a catch up. I am so sorry. I didn't realize I hurt you the way I did. You say
Big
what?
time. Honestly, I would have a problem with making up with, because you know what?
You
When you're
would have
somebody- of course I wouldn't have a problem.
You wouldn't? You said
I wouldn't have a problem.
Okay.
But you know what? Who knows that I could believe her?
Right,
because
right.
all these years that I've been a true friend, how do I know she's really my friend? You only call me when you need me. You got $1 million record deal. What happened to I'll give you a house, you give me a record deal? I'm still waiting.
Wow. Thank you, Brenda. Her new CD is in stores today. It's Brenda K. Starr.
Atrévete a Olvidarme. And it's on Mi Voz, Fontana Music, Boss. You should check it out. It's
Wendy, man.
First of all, my question is, what's wrong with Fantasia? I guess maybe I'm wondering why no one wants to focus on Fantasia's talent. I mean, her
Because
voice
nobody can
is
get
just-
past her teeth.
The Wendy Williams Experience.